Hello learners, welcome to our session today again. I am your instructor, CPA Aringo Fredrick. So in our class is a continuation of what you are doing earlier on. Remember we had introduced the concept of taxation of cross-border activities. So in our class today, I want us to look at the concept to do with the double taxation treaty. At times commonly referred to as double taxation agreement, or in short, we normally tend to talk of it as what? DTR, double taxation relief. It is a very important concept, not only for your exams purposes, but we find that it's also going to assist us at any given point. We want to advise our clients for those who are earning probably income in two countries. That is a country, Kenya, and another country, say like Uganda. So you'll find that in this concept, my good students, what we'll be looking at, the whole concept behind it, I'll be looking at these individuals who are earning income both in Kenya and other countries. You'll find that if, for example, I'm earning income in UK and I'm earning income in Kenya, at this point, on the same income, if I am a Kenyan citizen, it is deemed that any income that I'm earning elsewhere, it is deemed to be a Kenyan income. So in that income, you'll find that, yes, I have earned that income in UK. But because I am a Kenyan citizen, Kenya will claim its portion on that income. Kenya will claim its portion on that income. So it's as if UK will want a portion on that, and also Kenya will also claim a portion of tax on that income. So to avoid all these concepts of double taxation, you will find that if UK and Kenya will come into an agreement known as double taxation agreement or double taxation agreement, DTA. So if Kenya and UK will come into this agreement known as double taxation agreement, me as an individual, I am going to enjoy what is known as what? Double taxation relief. Because this income that is supposed to be taxed, I'll be given a component of relief. Meaning that I'm going to pay less tax in Kenya compared to what I would have paid in the event that we didn't have any form of agreement. So you'll find that it is very key, because it's going to motivate me also to work outside Kenya. And so long as this will only apply if Kenya and that other country, they have what is known as what? The double taxation agreement. I'm going to enjoy double taxation relief if Kenya and UK, they have what is known as what? Double taxation agreement. So the whole concept behind DTA, behind double taxation agreement or treaties, it will all burn down to what? The concept or us enjoying the double taxation reliefs. So introducing this concept, my good students, what must we understand? What must we have at the back of our mind? What must we have at the back of our mind? When we are talking of DTR, double taxation, or rather DTA, we start with DTA, double taxation agreement. DTA ideally stands for what? Stands for double taxation agreement. When you're talking of double taxation agreement or treaty, what should we understand? Ideally, we normally tend to say that this is a bilateral agreement between Kenya and other countries. Between Kenya and other countries, we are saying double taxation agreement is an agreement between Kenya and other countries. It's a bilateral agreement, a bilateral agreement between Kenya and other countries seeking to set out the implications and avoidance of double taxation. Seeking to set out the implication and avoidance of double taxation. So we are talking of DTA as bilateral agreement between Kenya and the other country, seeking to set out the implication and avoidance of double taxation, You'll find that full stop probably for those who are writing continuation will say, when a tax, we are saying when a taxpayer is supposed to pay tax in Kenya, and his country of origin, on the same income, he will be granted a tax relief or credit. On the tax payable in Kenya. If its country of origin has a double taxation agreement with Kenya. A very important concept to understand here, we are saying that in the event that a taxpayer is supposed to pay tax in Kenya and this other country, or rather in his country of origin, on the same income, he will be granted a tax credit. He will be granted this component that you're terming it as double taxation relief. If only Kenya and its country, they have a component of what? Of double taxation agreement. So this DTR or double taxation agreement normally tends to come up with a lot of advantages. And that should take us to the next component, which it will be very important for us to understand what are some of the advantages of DTA. You can be asked to give advantages, or term it as implications of DTA. Advantages or implications of DTA. When we'll be talking of the concepts to do with implication or advantages of DTA, what must we always remember? I want you guys to think beyond the four walls. At this point, we've seen that this is a bilateral agreement between Kenya and the other country, whereby they will enter into an agreement to provide a relief, or rather a tax relief, of course, on their citizens, in the event that they have earned an income in Kenya, whereby in this case you'll find that they'll be expected to pay tax twice on this income. That is in Kenya and in that other country of income, or in that other country and also in Kenya if I'm a Kenyan citizen. So if you're asked to come up with some of the advantages, the moment if you've understood the concept of double taxation agreement, if you're asked to come up with advantages of double taxation agreement, what will you say? What will you mention, my good students? You'll find that at this point, we will be looking at so many advantages, which will include the following. We'll be talking of exchange of qualified technical experts. Number one, exchange of qualified technical, of course, experts. Number two, you will find that there is going to be increased labor mobility between the two countries. Increased labor mobility between the two countries. My good student, we can also talk of the following, my good students. You have so many advantages talk of maybe promotion of investment, promotion of investments between the two countries, and so many advantages that you can have, The catch here is that just understand. What you need to understand at this point is the concept behind DTA. And if you have a concept behind DTA, you'll find that all these other things will just flow. All these other elements will just flow. Now, after we've talked of that, my good students, after we've talked of the advantages and implications, remember we've only mentioned 3. But you can have a lot of advantages in relation to that. So, after we've talked of that, what is the main element again that you must always grasp? Always, at any time we are talking of DTA. What is the main concept that you must always have at the back of your mind? This will be the concept, maybe you can have it as NB. A very important concept whenever we are looking at double taxation agreement. Under NB, we can often say that the following conditions must be satisfied. The following conditions must be satisfied for the tax relief or credit to be granted. I repeat, the following conditions must be satisfied for the tax relief or credit to be granted. And at this point, the credit that we are talking about, we are talking about the double taxation relief. So condition number 1 that must be satisfied will always talk about a proof that tax was actually paid, a proof that tax was actually paid, in that other country, with which Kenya has a DTA with which Kenya has a DTA with, meaning that I must prove that I actually paid my tax in that foreign country, Number 2, we are saying that the tax deducted in that country, the tax deducted in that other country, is not more than the tax, that would have been deducted, that would have been paid, in Kenya. I.e., this is what you are saying, that in the event that I'll be comparing my foreign tax, on foreign income, I'll be comparing my foreign tax on foreign income with the Kenyan tax on foreign income. I'll be comparing these two, foreign tax on foreign income and Kenya tax on foreign income. So assuming that foreign tax on foreign income is, say, like 900,000 and Kenyan tax on foreign income maybe assuming is say like we can take any figure like talk of a million. We can talk of maybe a million. We can talk of maybe a million. Talk of a million. Talk of 1 million. Talk of 1 million. Talk of 1 million, for example. So in this statement, you are saying that the tax deducted in that other country is not more than the tax that will have been paid in Kenya. So in the event that I'm comparing the two, this is where I'm going to get our double taxation relief. I'll be taking the lower of the two, which in this case the lower of the two is 900,000, which in this case the lower of the two is 900,000. So this is what you are saying, my good students. I'm going to compare the foreign tax on foreign income. We compare it with Kenyan tax on foreign income. So the lower of the two is what I am going to take as what? As the double taxation relief. As double taxation relief. As double taxation relief. Number 3 point to consider. The one that you must always have in mind when you are dealing with the concepts of DTR. Number 3, we'll talk of the limit for making the claim must be within 6 years. The limit of making the claim, the limit of making the claim, the limit of making the claim must be within 6 years. Must be within 6 years. Must be within 6 years. And of course, number 4, we can say that it only applies to Kenyan citizens. It only applies to Kenyan citizens. To Kenyan citizens. It only applies to Kenyan citizens. To Kenyan citizens. It only applies to Kenyan citizens. It only applies to Kenyan citizens. So my good students, always, whenever we are talking of double taxation agreement or treaty, I want you guys to always have this in mind. I want you guys to always have this in mind. The moment you are able to grasp this concept correctly, you'll find that it will be very, very easy for us. You'll find that it will be very, very easy for us. And for us to grasp this concept plus the steps given, I want us to have this illustration question, which will assist us to understand the concept of how to determine the double taxation relief. I want us to have this simple illustration question, which will assist us to understand the concept of double taxation relief. Take for example this case. Maybe I am given, say, like talk of any name. Maybe I am told that we have, say, like Jaden provided the following information, provided the following information for the income and in year 2020. Employment income in Kenya, employment income in Kenya, employment income in Kenya, I am given, say, like 2 million, pay 500,000. Pay 500,000, right? I am given, say, like consultancy income in Kenya, a figure of, say, like 1 million Kenyan shillings. A figure, say, like 1 million Kenyan shillings. Then got told that he also earned income. He also earned income from United States of America. He earned income from United States of America, income from USA, amounting to say like 10,000 USD, $10,000. Tax paid in USA, tax paid in USA was $500. Was $500. Talk of $500 was $500. Tax paid in USA amounted to $500. So having this case, I am told to determine, whereby you are told that USA and Kenya had a double taxation agreement. USA and Kenya had a double taxation agreement. Required. Determine the DTR. Determine the double taxation agreement. Determine the double taxation relief. Determine the double taxation relief. DTR. Determine the double taxation relief. So given such a question, my good student, where are you going to start from? I want us to follow these steps and follow these steps keenly. Because anytime you are dealing with this concept, if you have these steps at the back of your mind, things will be very, very simple for us, by the way. Things will be very, very simple for us. So step number one, in working out our solution, step one, let me have it here. Step one, determine the tax liability on Kenyan income. Determine the tax liability on Kenyan income. Determine the tax liability on Kenya income. Determine the tax liability on Kenyan income. How will you determine our tax liability on Kenyan income, my good students? I know very well that this is our total income in Kenya. So income in Kenya, we had the following, right? Income in Kenya, we had the following. We had, say, like talk of employment income. I'm having employment income. Employment income in Kenya, we are given 2 million. So I'm going to have our 2 million here. Consultancy income in Kenya, I'm having 1 million. So my total income in Kenya, I should be having 3 million. Right? Looking at our tax bracket, considering our tax liability on that income. Tax liability on this income, we know very well, if we were to use our current rates, my good students, if we were to use our current rates, we know very well, we should be talking of what? We should be talking of the following. Just a moment here. We should be talking of the following if we were to use our current rate. We know very well, up to 688,000, the tax liability is how much? The tax liability up to 688,000. Up to 688,000. So tax liability, you're talking of the first 688,000. The first 688,000, you know very well, my tax liability is 98,800. Excess of this, I'm going to subject it at what rate? At 25%, right? We are using the current rates for 2020. So this is what we should be having. I should be talking of 3 million minus 688,000. Of course, times 25%. That should give us how much? That should give us a figure of how much. That should give us a figure of how much. Determining that quickly, we are talking of 3 million minus 688,000. Of course, I'm having 2312. I'm having 2312,000. We multiply by 0.25. So therefore, we should be talking of 578,000. So I'm going to talk of 578,000. I'm going to talk of 578,000, right? So if we add the two, 578,000, we add 98,800. This should give us 676,800. That should give us 676,800. That is our tax liability on Kenyan income. Step number 2, my good students, step number 2, what you need to do is to determine the tax liability on total income. Determine tax liability. Determine tax liability. Determine tax liability on total income. Determine tax liability on total income. Determine tax liability on total income. So, how much do we have here? We have income from Kenya. Income from Kenya. I'm having a figure of 3 million. Income from USA. Income from USA. We do have how much? You are given a figure of $10,000. Assuming that $1 was equivalent to 100 Kenyan shillings. Assuming that $1 was equivalent to $100,000 or rather 100 shillings. 100 shillings. So this case we should be talking of 1 million because I'll be having our $10,000 by 100 to give us a figure of 1 million. So in simple terms, you are saying that my total income, I should be talking of what? I should be talking of 4 million. We should be talking of our total income to be 4 million. Having our total income of 4 million, what will be our tax liability? What will be our tax liability? Believing that you've marked this one, let me have it somewhere. Tax on foreign income, I'm given $500. Let me have it somewhere so that you should not forget. So given such, my good students, given such, it will be upon us to determine, of course, the tax on this income. So tax liability on that income, we should be having the first 688,000. We know very well that is 98,800. That is 98,800. Then excess of that, we should be talking of 4 million minus 688,000. We multiply by 25%. We multiply by 25%. So that should give us how much? That should give us 4 million minus 688,000. 688,000 minus 688,000. 688,000. So that should give us 3,312,000. We multiply by 25%. So that should give us 828,000, right? That should give us 828,000. 828,000. So what will be our total there? My total there, we should be talking of 828,000. We add 98,800. That should give me 926,800. So that is our tax liability on total income. Then step number three, my good students, looking at step number three, what must we have? Because this was step number one, or rather step number two. Step number three, determine the foreign or Kenyan tax on foreign income. Determine foreign, determine tax, determine Kenyan tax, determine Kenya tax on foreign income. Determine Kenyan tax on foreign income. Determine Kenyan tax on foreign income. Determine Kenyan tax on foreign income. How will we determine our Kenyan tax on foreign income? To determine our Kenyan tax on foreign income, we are going to take our total tax liability or tax liability on total income. Tax liability on total income. We are going to take our tax liability on total income with less tax liability on Kenyan income. Less tax liability on Kenyan income. On Kenyan income. On Kenyan income. So in this case, my tax liability on total income, 926,800. Tax liability on Kenyan income, 676,800. 676,800. So that should give us a figure of how much, my good students. We should be talking of our 926,800. Talk of our 926,800. With less 676,800. So that should give me 250,000. 250,000. Now, come and determine your DTR. Step number 4. DTR, double taxation relief. For double taxation relief, we are going to compare the following. We are going to compare our foreign tax on foreign income, foreign tax on foreign income. I compare it with Kenyan tax on foreign income, Kenyan tax on foreign income. So we should be talking of foreign tax on foreign income. We had $500 times 100. That should give us we had $500, yeah, I think we had $500, correct? So we compare it with the Kenyan tax on foreign income, which in this case is 250,000. 250,000. So what will be our foreign or DTR? My DTR, therefore, I'm going to take the lower of the two. And in our case, the lower of the two I'm seeing is how much? 50,000. So my DTR in this case, we'll be talking of 50,000 Kenyan shillings. So this is how we can work out, the concept of taxation or determination of double taxation reliefs. So my good students, I want you guys to join me in the next class, whereby we are going to do another question. We are going to do another question from our past papers, which will open our mind wide to understand the concepts of double taxation relief. Thank you so much, and let us meet in the next session. Thank you.